Hello, everyone. Welcome to our podcast. Now, today we are joined by Vineet and Sadhana, and today we are going to talk about branding. So, guys, पहले ये बताएं कैसे हैं आप लोग?
बहुत
We're
अच्छे, बिल्कुल
very
बहुत
good, yeah,
अच्छे।
very
या
good.
वी आर वेरी गुड।
So, I have been knowing this couple for like last 2 3 years. I think 2022 में
या
शायद we met in Delhi, right?
या
Yeah.
And
2 years।
okay, good. अच्छा, let's start. I have a question. Okay, ये question I think जहाँ कहीं भी मैं जाता हूँ, this question is being asked to me कि व्हाट मेक्स यू डिफरेंट, हम आप लोगों को क्यों चूज करें जहाँ पे देयर इज कंप्यूटर बी, उनको ना चूज करके आपको क्यों चूज करें? तब मैं उनको एक ही आंसर देता हूँ, दैट इट इज ब्रांडिंग। किसका
Hmm.
ब्रांडिंग कैसा है वो उसके ऊपर डिपेंड करेगा कि कंज्यूमर किनको चूज करेगा, राइट?
हम्म,
तो आज टुडे आई एम जॉइंड विथ यू टू गेट आंसर ऑन दिस क्वेश्चन। ओके, तो पहले स्टार्ट करते हैं इंट्रोडक्शन से थोड़ा बहुत, ठीक है? देन
यस,
वी विल मूव इनटू मोर इन डेप्थ, ठीक है? तो विनीत, लेट्स
श्योर।
स्टार्ट विद यू। ओके।
Yeah. So, like, we are running this advertising agency called Brand Bazooka, and we started like 2008, I would say, and 2013 we gave this name. I mean, the entity was named as Brand Bazooka. Before that, we were named something else. But we started from the very beginning, like a mainline communication agency, like Ogilvy or those kind of agencies, because at that time digital was not there. So the only way to advertise at that time was through branding and through mainline advertising. So we started as that agency, but when digital media and Facebook and all these things came, and we also graduated, we learned all the things, we upskilled our people, and that's how we came to the digital. So now we are a hybrid agency. We understand both the world, the old traditional world as well as the digital world.
या
So yeah, this is a small introduction of
Got
what
it.
we do.
Okay. An introduction about Sadhana. Okay. So I know Sadhana, and let me tell you, Sadhana loves talking. Okay. And today she is going to share a whole lot of things about branding. तो साधना,
या
आपसे मैं कुछ और पूछूंगा, ठीक है? इंट्रोडक्शन ऑब्वियसली, बट ऑब्वियसली ये बताइए कि व्हेन यू स्टार्टेड ब्रांड बजूका, ये
या
हाउ गॉट लाइक हाउ डू यू मीट ईच अदर? आप दोनों एक दूसरे से कैसे मिले थे, कब मिले थे? और ये ब्रांड क्या पहले स्टार्ट हुआ, बाद में स्टार्ट हुआ, कैसे हुआ?
सो यू हैव जस्ट पिक्ड अप अ वेरी ब्यूटीफुल पार्ट इन अ स्टोरी ऑफ आवर लाइफ।
Yeah.
So you'll be
हम्म।
happy to know, Sammy. In fact, you also don't know we are school friends.
ओके।
So Brand
Yes,
Bazooka
so
came much later.
much later. So we are school friends, we are college friends, and then we got married, and then we kind of decided because Vineet, when started, Vineet wanted to do something of his own, and when he started the journey, it was a very
या
beautiful, natural, complementing thing. हमें, we didn't realize we have our own strengths. So Vineet's strengths is thinking, research, analyzing. My strength was people's connection. So these two things, when they kind of combined, Brand Bazooka anyways happened, and then we started rolling, and we started doing good job and great job. But yes, I mean, we know each other much more. I mean, much before then Brand Bazooka happened. We are school friends.
दैट्स ग्रेट टू नो गाइज। वी विल डिस्कस अबाउट दिस लेटर ऑन। अभी पहले हम लोग एक चीज, अच्छा, आप लोग शायद नोटिस करेंगे कुछ महीने पहले ब्लिंकिट का एक बैनर बहुत वायरल हुआ था, एक बिल बोर्ड कि दूध मांगोगे दूध देंगे, राइट?
Ah,
Correct.
तो बहुत लोग, whenever we look at this banners, this billboards ना, we think why investing in this kind of thing, इसमें क्या होता है, right? Again, when we look at big brands investing a lot of money in branding, right? And a lot of, let's talk about, because a major part of my audience is sellers, right, who are selling in Amazon, Flipkart, Walmart. So they think, why invest in branding when we are doing good direct response marketing? Where should be the gap, or where should be the difference, that this is a point that we should put budget in branding? And before that, I think you can put some light on what exactly is branding.
I think I will start this, and Vineet
Yeah,
would
yeah.
love to join in.
Yeah.
When Vineet introduced what Brand Bazooka does, I would like to extend it a little more, telling you one thing, that do you know what I'm going to say is a beautiful line. Every
Mhm.
product owner has the potential of becoming a brand owner. Every product owner has a potential
Mhm.
of becoming a brand owner. Yeah. Now the question, are all the sellers on Amazon, Flipkart, Walmart, they say we are brand owners. That's how they introduce themselves. You generally go and
Yeah.
meet them, so they'll say we are brand owners. So this is one thing where I always tell them whenever I am consulting, I am talking to them, I tell them, you are a product owner. You are
Mhm.
not a brand owner till the time certain things happen with you. Now, what are those certain things? Because if those certain things are happening, then you should start saying that you are a brand owner. So your
Mhm.
question was why somebody should invest in such a thing? क्यों करना है? क्यों करना चाहिए? तो brand क्यों बनना चाहिए is a question. I mean, that is what indirectly you're asking me. So why somebody
Yeah.
should be doing is
So,
something that
so
he
there's
can
a
add.
term called brand equity. If you look at any big multinational company, they have a term called brand equity. They have a brand equity. So,
Mhm.
suppose tomorrow
Mhm.
you launch a new toothpaste. How difficult would it be to replace Colgate, or how difficult it would be to replace Maggi noodles if you launch noodles? It will be almost impossible. I mean, too many people have tried and they have failed because the moment you build a brand, you have like built a trust with your consumer, and once that trust is developed over a period of time, then consumers are very sticky to that brand. They don't change that brand so easily, and then you have those distribution networks and everything. but
Mhm.
the but the basic thing is that, like, आप अगर,
Stickiness.
yes, the stickiness,
Yeah.
अगर आप पानी लेने जाते हैं तो आपकी फर्स्ट प्रेफरेंस होती है बिस्लरी, बिकॉज यू ट्रस्ट दैट ब्रांड. अब आपको वहाँ पे कोई एक बिस्लरी का डुप्लीकेट ब्रांड मिलता है, यू आर नॉट वेरी कंफर्टेबल बाइंग दैट, बिकॉज बिस्लरी हैज बिल्ड दैट ब्रांड इक्विटी ओवर द years. Now if
Mhm.
you have not built a brand, you are just doing a what do you call, a very commercial kind of a transaction, which is you have just, maybe got the customer on the basis of low prices and all, but you will never be able to charge that kind of premium, because
Premium. Yeah.
let's say you go to any airline, you would see that some airlines charge a little premium. I mean, you would
Yeah.
pay certain airlines a little higher price than what others are charging. So that is because of
Mhm.
brand equity. So unless you are a brand, you can't charge a premium, you can't have a good profitable margin, and you can't I mean, anybody would come and replace you if they launch a similar product to you at a little lower price. They would easily replace you. But if you want to be irreplaceable and like build that kind of premium, you want to charge a premium on your product, then you have to become a brand. There's no other way.
There's one more thing, Sammy, which Vineet always says,
Mhm.
and I really like that particular statement. He always says, from the time you get up in the morning till the time you go for sleep, everything that you use, starting from your
Yeah.
toothpaste to the last thing that you use before going to bed, pick up every item. You will see, and if I start asking you, okay, tell me the brands there. Every individual that you'll speak to, they can actually name three, four, five, maximum five, six.
Yeah.
Beyond that,
Mhm.
so it's not that there is no toothpaste. There are 100 toothpastes. There are 100 soaps. There are 100 shoes. There are 100 coats. 100 mics. I mean, so many things. Four, five. So if you become a brand, if you're in the process of becoming a brand, or if you're becoming a brand, that loyalty, that stickiness, that repeat order, that premium pricing, all that is only possible when somebody is a brand. So sometimes people ask me, this means nobody can enter into my market. No, brother. Anybody can enter into your market. But moving you from your seat becomes tough for them.
Yes.
It's not easy. You can't stop anybody bringing a toothpaste. Okay, lekar aao, aa jao, ghus jao. But replacing a Pepsodent or a Colgate or a Patanjali or maybe two more और याद कर लेते हैं. It's so difficult. But there is one Dantabai, Kantabai toothpaste in Ahmedabad, for example, or in Pune.
Mhm.
Nobody knows. So brand should be made because of these reasons. The kind of stickiness, the premium pricing, the loyalty, all these are the reasons that product owners now should start looking at becoming brand owners from product owners. That should be the journey now.
Mhm. Yeah, I think this is completely makes sense because if you look at the current marketing scenario, right, where the customer acquisition cost is constantly rising, वहाँ पे for a brand to sell first product and then get a return customer again, it's if they're not getting a customer in return, I mean the repeat purchase is not there. The customer acquisition cost is so high for them that they will not be profitable in the long run. Let's take 6 months, 1 year in talking, right? So for them to build a brand and build the trust in the consumer is really important right now to get more lifetime value out of one customer.
True.
And I think यहाँ पे I'll also point one thing. Na, you'll notice few things because you are also in the agency business. I am also in the agency business, and we too share similar kind of client base as well. One point here we have seen a lot because when we talk to few manufacturers in general, right? So they have set up 2-3 crores manufacturing plant, right? And when you ask them, आपका marketing budget कितना है, आपका branding का budget कितना है, so you get a good answer that अरे आप लोगों का अच्छा एक्सपीरियंस होगा इसमें.
So we have seen people who have like spent like 100 200 crores on their factories, and their marketing budget is not even 50,000 rupees. So that's actually hilarious, and they're like selling through their traditional channels, but they don't realize that those things have a life. I mean, someday like all those inefficiencies would be
Wiped out.
yeah, wiped out, all those things, because ultimately we are all moving towards efficient systems and everything. So yeah, I mean, I think people in India are actually not educated about brands. Matlab, if you look at brands, it is actually a Western concept, mainly US. So
Yeah.
all the big brands that you would see are actually, most of them are actually like coming from US. So in India, I think they need, a lot of people needs to be educated about branding because they don't know actually,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think I'll just add on that. Uh,
Mhm.
India, by
Yeah.
nature, because of British era, went into a zone that it is very deeply rooted in Indian business owners' mindset. Um, I give this example very frequently. I don't know how
Mhm.
much today's generation knows, but when you make desi ghee at home, so there is a beautiful smell which comes, and up till 10 houses you can smell, and desi ghee is happening. I always tell this that Indian business owners are like that. They'll do some good product and they'll say, if I'm doing good job now, don't worry, people will get to know and people will come automatically. Now the time has changed, scenarios have changed, habits have changed. What your grandfather did maybe 70 years back, what your dad did, what you'd, that's fine. But now forget about flourishing, forget about growing. Just for basic survival, you need to be seen, you need to be visible. And it is ironical, it is painful when I speak to a lot of business owners, and they will have turnovers of 200 crore, 500 crores, and marketing budget 1 lakh rupees per month is also like, oh my god, maybe you have asked two kidneys of them. Like, oh, what are you asking? But they don't understand. um, I think I would like to add one more thing. Whenever
Mhm.
I speak to business owners, and I always ask them,
Yeah.
list out 5 points, the most important points that you think you have as a
Mhm.
business owner. One, two, three,
Mhm.
four, five. So the points will come: team, accounts, collection, payment, this, that. Very rarely, maybe 1% of people will bring sales. Else 99.5% people, business owners mindset is not of sales, not of revenue, not of growth. They will talk about everything, but they don't understand sales is the solution to each and every problem. And how the sales happen through marketing, through branding. So I mean, it is just.
Yeah, one thing I would like to add to the timeline. So before 1992, India was
Mhm.
like before liberalization, there were only like one brand of scooter, Bajaj. Okay,
Yeah.
because government
Yeah.
controlled everything, so there was only Bajaj scooter. There were only Ambassador and Fiat. Only two brands of cars were there. So consumer had no choice before liberalization. But after 1992, a lot of MNCs came into India, and now you just see in every product you have like hundreds of brands to choose from. So now the problem is that a lot of business owners that we meet, so their grandfather would have started the business. Now in that era, that was a different era altogether. I mean, even when liberalization happened, even the first decade, I would say that people took time to understand that. And
Yeah.
people were mainly selling through, the older generation was selling only through relations and distribution networks and everything. But and that time consumers were also like getting educated. But now look at consumers, like they know how to select a brand and how many options they have for any product. Like right from the time you wake up till the
Hmm.
time you sleep, you have so many brands that you products that you use, and for
Yeah.
every product you have hundreds of brands to choose from. So you can't like survive in this era without marketing. But
Yeah.
yes, people are realizing. So to be honest, a lot of clients that we have are actually second or third generation businessmen, like and they have a tough time convincing their elder generation that why we should do this. So a lot of time we are the one who are convincing their their elders, that the era has changed, the consumers have changed. And there was a client who came to us. He had a detergent powder in some state in India, northern state in India, and he is like running that kind of business from last so many years. And now he says, now MNCs have also become very smart, because earlier we used to give distributor a bigger margin, and we used to cut MNCs out of that, because distributor would obviously go with the brand who is giving them a higher margin. But now MNCs have also got very smart, and they've also started giving a very huge margin to their distributors. So
Hmm.
the thing, that's what I was saying, that inefficiencies will be wiped out either today or tomorrow. It's just a matter of time. So people are like
Yeah.
beginning to understand that at the end of the day they have to build a brand. And in fact, if you look at anything in India, we always follow US, especially in the branding department. So what is happening in the US will keep on happening. I mean, what
Will
happened
come to
5
India.
years ago in US is actually happening in India right now. So you
Yeah.
look at any international brand, they are like all spending so heavily. Like look at the marketing budgets of Coca-Cola, Pepsi. In fact, we have a client from South India. They are 100-year-old brand, I
Yeah.
guess. And they came, like they started even before Coke came to India, or Pepsi came to India. But the moment Coke and Pepsi came, they were like, I mean, their market share was totally eaten up by these giants. But these guys still have not, like they are still not spending on marketing, but they are just surviving because, like they have
Of their
made
distribution. Yeah.
inroads into the distribution of certain areas. But that's
Hmm.
just a matter of time. So
Yeah.
that's how they consulted us, and
Yeah,
we are.
but I think that is not for long run, because ultimately,
Yeah.
if consumer are looking into some brands, and they're always looking into, because these brands, they are programming consumers' mindset subconsciously, and whenever the consumer is in consideration phase, they should or they will look for this brand they are always seeing and looking at, right?
Yeah.
And whenever
Yes.
this old brands who haven't invested at all in marketing, only relying on distribution, they will erase up slowly, because consumer will ultimately want, and the distributor had to put or provide those brands which the consumers are looking into, right?
True.
Yes.
Very true.
So let's
Very.
let's come to a step by step points here, right? Because let's take example of someone who is starting a e-commerce brand or an Amazon brand, because that goes alongside each other, right? So what is branding step by step, what they need to do if they want to establish a good brand? What should be their first step? Maybe packaging, logo, website, just name it in steps, so that it is easier for the audience to take care.
Yeah. So I can take this up. See, the entire process of brand building.
Mhm.
In fact, no, that's not the right statement. The entire process from the time when the brand comes to life till the time it starts selling, the
Mhm.
entire process should be divided into three phases. The first phase is called
Yeah.
strategy phase, branding strategy phase, one of the most important, underestimated, underrated phase by Indian business owners. I'll tell you why.
Hmm.
Second is implementation phase, and third is the review phase. I think in last 15 years of our experience, I would have spoken to many, can't even number them. I would have spoken to so many business owners. This come to us many times after 6 months, 10 months, 1.5 years. And when they start narrating their problem, we immediately, as brand doctors, understand, brother, did you go straight to implementation? Did you do something called strategy? What is strategy? And that is the problem. Now, what is strategy? Why somebody like a new e-commerce player starting? I get it. You have some money, little money. You got some inspiration for a product, got it from somewhere. It is working for your friend, whatever the reason it is. Now, how you should be doing and why you should be doing. Why you should be doing is we have discussed that why somebody should be trying to become a brand. Okay, but how? The first thing is really look out for people who are into brand strategy. Why? What is that we do in brand strategy? Why it is even important? Brand strategy is the phase where we discuss about your product, your target audience, basis that target audience, your pricing, your geography, your positioning, your unique selling proposition. Now, many times people say, ah, these are all advertising words, Sadhna ji, ये सब की क्या जरूरत है? ये एडवर्टाइजिंग jargons हैं, words हैं, बिल्कुल बात सही है. But एक second, if we don't go into it, see, please understand, if you don't understand who is the target audience that you're catering to, one of the funniest thing that people do, the moment you ask, what is your target group? So very funny way they will say, "Are it is 25 to 45, 25 to 40 male." Okay,
In fact, 20 to 50.
20 to 50 मेल. हाँ, पहला एग्जाम्पल तो 20 टू 50 का मेल. तो हम बोलते हैं नहीं नहीं, एक
Hmm.
सेकेंड, लेट्स नैरो इट डाउन. तो बड़ा मेहनत करके नैरो होता है 25 टू 40 का मेल. Now, Sammy, let me ask you a question, and you will experience it. What I'm saying.
Hmm.
Can you actually feel the way a 25-year-old male thinks versus a 40-year-old male thinks about the same thing? The tiffin, the cloth, the shaving, whatever it is. Can it be same? It can never be same. It's a huge
Yeah.
natural difference. So one of the thing that we always do in strategy, one thing that I can explain, and then definitely that is what we do, that is one of our services, that is one of our sessions that we do. But one thing that we actually sit and do with them, that imagine God comes and tells you, Sammy, just give me one consumer who's your wishful consumer, and I'm going to exactly give you 1,000 more. Then what will you do? So then Sammy says, no, no, then it can't be 25 to 40 because now I'm talking, tell me one. Then Sammy starts thinking, Acha, it is a 25-year-old boy. These are his problem and blah, 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 blah.
you
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 have
you
no
try to,
idea.
yeah, define that.
So what happens the moment you define? Now imagine Sammy says, Acha, theek hai, after realization, I've realized, no, 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 40-year-old male is my target audience. A 40-year-old thinks in a different manner. They talk about investment in a certain fashion. They might have kids. They might be married, different aspects. So now, somebody who's starting, acha. Second thing also comes, strategy में तो पैसा लगता है. We don't have money any which way. How can we do strategy में पैसा? Now, that is what I explain people. When you run on a racetrack 6 months, 10 months, 1.5 year, and you come back to agencies like you and us, and then when we show them mirror and we tell them, brother, oh God, you should have been running on this track. You are running on this track. They also get convinced. Then imagine what they have done. They have wasted their 10 months. They have wasted that time. They have wasted that effort. They have wasted that money. So I always tell them, the way you the way you accumulate money to trade product from China or from India or from anywhere, similarly
Hmm.
give money, similarly allocate money. Borrow it from your mama, steal it from a bank, whatever you want to do, but allocate a money for brand strategy. Like you think you can't start without Amazon, like you think you can't start without an Instagram account. Similarly, allocate a money that I need to go to a strategy expert, brand strategy guy. Because once strategy is in place, once you know, "Oh, this is my this is this," then comes implementation. In implementation, you can say, "Hey, I will do it myself," or I can do an agency like yours and us. Can you also help us implementation? Or you can say, "Let me make a team for in my office." Or you can say, "Can I work with a freelancer?" No problem. But at least get your basics right. You know. So strategy, implementation, and definitely then review. This is the cycle that a person should be following.
And in fact, a lot of
Okay,
people
let's.
come to
Yeah.
us at a very later stage. I mean,
Mhm.
Yeah,
once they've made their logo, their packaging, everything, and then they come to us because they realize that now they're struggling.
yeah,
Now we tell them to change the packaging, then they say, "यार, अब तो हमने इसमें इतना खर्चा कर
Mhm.
दिया. How do we change it?" And then
Yeah,
that,
I think Vinith, we need to discuss more in detail about this. Okay, let's
yeah,
break down the bits and pieces about the implementation, packaging, logo,
yeah,
website, colors, right,
yes.
brand theme. इसके बारे में थोड़ा बताइए कि
yeah.
क्या क्या रहता है उसमें.
So yeah, so the thing is that again, it starts from your target audience. That what kind of consumer set that you're trying to target. Let's say you are now. Let's say there are two brands. So there can be a coffee
Mhm.
brand who is trying to target very young audience, like 20-22 year old, because like coffee is a universal thing. But then there could be a brand who is like catering to 40-year old. Now both of
Mhm.
them would
Yeah.
have a very different kind of packaging, logo, and all the we actually call
And it starts from
yeah,
naming,
yeah.
because you
It
said
starts from naming.
implementation. So it
Yeah, yeah,
starts from naming.
because certain kind of names appeal to the younger audience and certain kind of names appeal to the more mature audience.
Yeah.
सो आप कई बार देखेंगे कि कई बार हमारे में और हमारे पेरेंट्स में भी कई बार ऐसा होता है कि वी लाइक समथिंग एंड हमारे पेरेंट्स बोलते हैं यार ये क्या बच्चों वाली चीज कर रहे हो बिकॉज दे हैव अ डिफरेंट टेस्ट एंड प्रेफरेंसेस दे हैव देयर ओन एक्सपीरियंसेस इन लाइफ so similarly like first thing is like target audience, who is your target audience. Based on that we come up with a
Name.
proper name. Then
Mhm.
Logo.
we design a language. We
Yeah,
call it a design language
yeah.
that is inclusive of the fonts, colors, and everything. Like for a mature brand we would go for with serious fonts. For a younger audience we can go with a little funky fonts, funky colors, so on and so forth.
So I can add on. So naming, color, fonts,
Yeah.
um, your packaging.
Mm.
Your packaging can have 100 varieties. So do you need a character? You don't need a character.
Mhm.
Do you need it to be just a font driven brand? Do you just need a copy driven brand? Do you just need it to be a visual driven brand? Your website. I always tell this to people. So they will just go to anybody for making a website. And I always ask this question: who made your website? Go and ask. 90% I get the answer: an IT company. An IT company? How? Okay, so it's like website is your online shop. You want your website to have your brand narrative. You want to have your website to have your story. An IT company, they understand technology, but they
Mhm.
do not have the framework and the infrastructure of bringing that story or narrative alive. So your website speaks a lot about you. Before somebody doesn't speak and goes to your website, can either he can just go back or either he can choose to stay. And that all happens in 3 seconds. 3 seconds. So your naming, your color, your font, your logo, your packaging, your website, and then extension of things. So for example, when somebody is buying something from you, do you want your brand to enter into their life till that last package when they open, in a form of a letter, in a form of a sticker, whatever it is? Go till that level. Is it, if it is a towel, sometimes you choose to write as a sticker in the towel. So branding is something that can you have to choose till what level do you want to go. So all this is there. And then definitely it goes to advertising level, the kind of Instagram bio, the language that you will choose. It's one liner. The kind of
Yeah.
Facebook cover picture you will choose, that will speak a lot. So everything to be, sometimes we work with a lot of
Hmm.
brands which are not only D2C, and their office will have a mug and a coaster.
Hmm.
We give them branding till that level. Their
Got
mug
it.
should not just have one logo. No, a,
Hmm.
s- a nice line which talks about them. So somebody comes and visits them in office and there's a coffee mug. They pick up and they read that line and brings a smile like, wow.
Yeah.
So all
So
that
we
is,
call these as consumer touch points. I mean,
yeah,
so let's
Hmm.
say you are branding an airline. So for airline, first touch point would be the ticket of the airline or the website that you are going. Then you would be when you go to the airline to any airport, you see that kiosk where they're checking you in. The kind of look and feel of that
everything.
place, and
Yeah,
then the dress they wear, the uniform, and then you when you go inside the plane, you see those covers on the seat. Everything is a part of branding, so you have to see that what are the touch points for your brand. So every brand would have various different touch points, so we want to influence customer on every touch point, and we want to have a very cohesive design language. I mean, we can't have one design here and the other design there. We have to create a whole story of this brand. Like, how do we flow the same story on various media?
yeah.
So that is very important, because you know that thing is a little difficult. Not everyone can do it, so you need a very specialized team to do that kind
Yep.
of work. But that's very important,
No.
because
Yeah.
once you're creating that kind of perception, you need the whole story to be in
Weaved.
yeah, to be
Hmm.
weaved together.
Let's do something interesting. Okay, I think I have told you about the brand I have been working on, the Ugly Coffee. Okay, now I'll ask you five actionable steps. I'll tell you a little bit about the brand. The products are right now in the testing phase. So the brand name is called the Ugly Coffee.
Hmm.
I'll tell you why that brand name came, because coffee is being served or noted as one of the most chemically added edible substance that human being consume, because from the step of getting the green beans to making it brown, it adds a lot of chemicals in between. And our target audience that we thought was 25 to 35 years old, IT professionals. The only reason we chose IT professional is because we have seen that is a group of people who focuses a lot in working, because they are always with their laptop and they lack in nutrition a lot. They need a lot of supplements. I
Hmm.
mean, dietary supplement, like all vitamin supplements, minerals, and all. So
Hmm.
what we did interesting with that brand is we developed two kind of coffee. One is male coffee, another is female coffee. The male coffee has separate minerals and vitamins that a male body requires in that age, and the female coffee has separate minerals and vitamins that a female body requires in that age. And that is about it. Planned on launching it first in online, obviously through Amazon, and also on the same time we have a offline store. You know those
Hmm.
chota hati, okay, those
Yeah.
food trucks, an
Yeah.
offline store, and the main goal is to provide the cheapest coffee possible. In Kolkata, chai is the most famous drink that everyone consumes, right? And it comes a cup is around 10 rupees, 5 to 10 rupees.
And
So our
Acha.
goal is to provide coffee in the same price as chai and
Okay.
break the myth of premium drink, because coffee is obviously noted
Premium.
as a premium drink, right?
Correct.
So that is about the brand right now. Okay, so give me five actionable steps about branding this, how I should go about it.
Mm.
So first of all, I would like to congratulate you till what you have told us. It's like brilliantly done. Like, you have
Yeah.
defined your target audience, and you have very like picked a very nice category, like IT professionals, like for coffee, because yes, they are the very right audience for coffee, and like mineral vitamin thing that you also did for them. That's brilliant. And male female also you've segregated. So that part is like amazing. Now, like, I don't know, like, what stage you are at, like you have made the logo or not, because Even the name is very good for those IT professional kinds of like that kind
Yeah.
of audience. Ugly Coffee is a brilliant name, I would say.
The
uh,
name, we wanted a logo to highlight the ugly part a lot. So
hmm,
the ugly, as we wanted the word to reflect instead of the logo, right? So we have made two kind of logos. One
hmm,
kind of depicts female themes like pink and all, and another in a military green, which
hmm,
goes for the male audience. So that
hmm,
is where we are right now. Okay.
So I can add on. So first thing
Mhm.
is, because we have not seen, but the first thing is naming. So naming is approved. So action point number one, 10 on 10 mil gaya. Okay, be happy. Number two is logo. We have not seen the logo, but yes, definitely after this, you can always send us back and we can let you know what is that we see. Okay. Third is your packaging. Again, because we have not seen, packaging should reflect whatever you want to reflect. Fourth thing, which now goes on product. Before I tell you this point, I want to put up a context of Red Bull.
Mhm.
There is this now this is a beautiful discussion, maybe because this is how, so this is a brainstorming, okay, because you just threw a question and we all can have different points. I feel if the name is Ugly Coffee, you are
Mhm.
saying because it gets polished from green to brown and goes through a lot of chemicals, makes it tastier, blah blah blah, but a lot of procession happens, a lot of processing happens. How does it taste? How does it taste also has a lot to do and is a part of branding of the entire product. You would like to add on the
yeah,
Red Bull case study
yeah,
that we were
yeah.
discussing the other
So
day?
yeah, so the thing is that all these health drinks, they're
Mhm.
deliberately made a little
Less tastier.
less tasty. I mean, they a little bitter or that kind of taste, because people will not believe these brands if they've made it very tasty. People will think that they're just calling it a health drink, but this is not healthy. So you know that Dettol, when Dettol is applied, there is a kind of pain happen, right?
Sensation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sensation happens. You don't,
Mhm.
you know, they also launched a product in between to just test that if they remove that
Sensation.
that sensation, will people use it? You know that their sales dropped,
Mhm.
because when
Yeah.
people get that sensation, they get a feeling that they're
It's healing.
yeah, it's healing. So
It
this
has
is,
nothing to do with healing.
yeah,
It is just the psychology.
just the psychology.
Ah,
Yeah,
theek ho raha hai, theek
yeah.
ho raha hai. So because it's ugly, because you're saying we are not doing a lot of processing, it's health, it's nutrient, minerals. I don't know, but at one point listening to you, I'm keen on now trying the taste. Because if you make
That
it
is
very
the most important, because
Yeah.
we tested five samples and our investors main target was the taste shouldn't be different from normal coffee, right? So
ah,
first sample that we made, we
um,
saw that white particles of minerals and vitamins were coming up above
Oh.
the water, right? And that was happening, the mixability, the solubility wasn't
yeah.
there. Then we refined and got to the final stage where it is exactly same as any Nescafe. Nescafe has a little bit bitterness, but
Hmm.
if you taste Rage coffee or if you taste other coffees, you'll see the same exact taste that we have.
Mm,
And
mm.
it took a lot of time to get to that.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. In fact, that's very important part, because whatever you're trying to, again, this is also a part of the story. Like I
yeah.
told you about Red Bull,
Mhm.
if they start making a very tasty drink, people their 100% their sales will drop. Also their pricing strategy. So like you said that you're not pricing it very premium. So for that also, your brand has to, you should not be a brand who is like very,
Mhm.
looks very premium or very luxury. You should not do that. You should look like a mass, but an international brand, like what would you call a Good Day biscuit. It is a very big brand, but at the same time it is a mass brand. So
Yeah.
but the moment you
But
make it
yeah,
Oreo kind of packaging, by just by looking at the packet of Oreo versus Good Day, you can make out that this biscuit is more expensive.
yeah.
So similarly, you have to also we one exercise that we do for our brands is that imagine your brand on a shelf, where your product is kept on the shelf along with your competitor's brand. Now, how would you like to see that on that shelf there, when there are 10 competitors, they have placed their product, how would you like your product to look like? Because sometimes it is in comparison to others.
Yeah.
You look luxury or you look mass in comparison to others also sometimes. So all those things.
So that will go in packaging and all that. Yeah. And then at the end
Definitely.
of the day, how do you plan to sell it? You said I like as through a website, through all these smaller kiosks or the shops that you said. So whatever touch points you think, let your story travel. I personally feel you're making coffee cheaper, but you're making better coffee. My mind is still not processing it all. I'll be honest here. So maybe you have done story, but for me, because if it is something you're putting in vitamins, it is more better. How come it is cheaper? How can I get in thela wala chai ka rate? How? So is it only they're saying ya
Yeah,
kiya hai?
sometimes you
So
have to
sometimes
you have to price your product also at a premium to make people believe.
हाँ, तो मुझे नहीं पता आप कहाँ पर हो,
Yeah,
बट
that is a detailed discussion, but yeah,
हाँ,
that's Sadhana is right that sometimes like Red Bull is priced way beyond
नहीं, and
compared
let's
to a
compare.
Yeah.
No,
Coke
I
or
think
anything.
no, I think a very beautiful comparison which you can understand like थक से you said 5 रुपया या 7 रुपया 10 रुपया का चाय मिलता है and you want this coffee to be like $7. Imagine the composition of chai. दूध, पानी, अदरक, चीनी, चाय पत्ती, and it's 10. You're saying I'm adding vitamin, I'm adding mineral, I am this, I'm this, I'm not processing it. This means you're not doing it normal. How come it is cheaper? And if it is, then let that story come out very interestingly. Then people will start believing. But right now, it is just unbelievable. कैसे कैसे हो सकता है? हो ही नहीं सकता, you know. And again, go back to your TG. They're IT people, means they're all educated. They apply their mind. They question. So they are not one of those that they will not ask you. They will question. And very right. Invest your time in taste, right froth, right texture, whatever you
And
want.
also if you can get some certification, I'm sure you would have worked on that, but
Yeah.
if you can somehow convince me that technically this is actually true. If you're saying that it has vitamins and minerals and men special nutrients for men and special nutrients for women, if you can actually get a dietitian or a doctor kind of person on board to convince me, because in India so many products are there, so how do I trust? If I don't know Sammy, how do I trust that this is actually a genuine product? If you can somehow do that.
Very valid point. And one more question. I was doing a content day before yesterday, and the topic was
Yeah.
um, what what are the challenge of early stage startup in terms of marketing? This was one of the question. And then when I deep dived, I realized the early stage startups marketing problem is that they think they have to serve to lot of audience. They think, oh my god, the entire Pune, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Mumbai, Delhi, all the IT people are my audience. No, just go and serve 10 unknown IT guys, your TG, and see if they're giving you validity and are they referring you word of mouth or not.
Yeah, that's the biggest test.
If you get it, then it's okay. Otherwise, boss, brother, start it again. I mean, this is one thing I always tell all the startups that just focus on 10 initial unknown your target group customer and see how are they giving you don't influence them, and are they word of mouthing you or not, are
And
they
these people
referring you
should
or
be
not.
unknown completely.
Unknown,
They should not be
completely
friends,
unknown.
because then they would get influenced.
Ah.
So
And you will get your result, और कोई नहीं चाहिए आपको, you will get your result. But to say this line, we can say this because after 15 years we know this, but this is also one mantra, you know. So yeah.
Got it. I think that is really valuable. Okay, now let's take a step forward. Okay, now we assume we are a e-commerce brand. अभी business start करना है, branding के ऊपर proper जाना है. तो मेन रियल चीज के ऊपर आते हैं कि कितना इन्वेस्टमेंट लग सकता है इन डूइंग ऑल दिस ब्रांडिंग. लेट्स सपोज आई वांट टू हायर अ एजेंसी. सपोज आप लोगों को हायर करते हैं. वी वांट टू गो फ्रॉम ए टू जेड, राइट? वेबसाइट तक सब कुछ चाहिए हम लोगों को, फ्रॉम डिजाइनिंग द पैकेजिंग, लोगो, द ब्रांड थीम टू द वेबसाइट. कितना बजट एक बंदा पकड़ के चले कि हाँ, दिस शुड बी आइडियल बजट, ऊपर नीचे इतना एक रेंज?
So I'll answer this question. सबसे पहली बात है, whatever we have spoken till now, one more thing, again this is a line which people should know. Like मैंने एक line आपको बोली थी, every product owner has a potential of
हुँ, हुँ।
becoming a brand owner. Similarly, this
या
line I feel, brand is not a point, it's a journey from point A to point B. पहली बात. So the journey is called the brand journey. Okay, so there is nothing black and white. Okay, पहली बात तो ये जानना जरूरी है, because a brand like link pen, so we work with link pens for example, so a brand like link pens will also have different budgets, different aspirations.
I mean, every brand is on that journey. Nobody
Ah,
has achieved that destination because there is no final destination. So what she wants to say is that it depends on like what kind of like what growth path you want to take,
yeah,
how fast you want to go,
absolutely.
and how aggressive you want to go. But yes, he will give you some.
अच्छा, टेक
And
एग्जांपल हियर, ओके। मैं आप लोगों को अभी पकड़ूँगा यहाँ पे, ठीक है? चलो टेक एग्जांपल ऑफ 2 ब्रांड्स,
Hmm.
ओके। एक एक बिकॉज़ आपने ये बताया कि आप छोटे ब्रांड्स के साथ भी काम किए हैं, बड़े ब्रांड्स के साथ भी काम किए, ओके। लेट्स टेक एग्जांपल ऑफ अ स्मॉलर ब्रांड, ठीक है? और लेट्स टेक एग्जांपल, दूसरा एग्जांपल ऑफ अ बिग ब्रांड एमएनसी, ओके। लेट्स टॉक अबाउट लिंक, इनके जैसा एक सेकंड ब्रांड है। तो दोनों में एक-एक इनका बजट कितना होना चाहिए और इनका बजट कितना होना चाहिए टू गेट अ प्रॉपर ब्रांडिंग उनके लेवल का?
beautiful. It looks like आपने मेरा कहीं कंटेंट कहीं से देख लिया है. I'm actually creating a content on this piece that all the business
हुँ, हुँ।
owners avoid creating a marketing budget in the beginning of financial year. Generally, business owners don't make. And I created a content on this that they should not be doing this. तो ये आपने मुझसे मार्केटिंग बजट का सवाल पूछ लिया, तो मैं बताती हूँ मार्केटिंग बजट किस चीज पे डिपेंड करता है और क्यों बनाना चाहिए. दिस इज अ कंटेंट विच विल बी रोलिंग आउट ऑन इंस्टाग्राम टुमारो, बट आई एम स्पीकिंग टुडे. Number one, the kind of goals you have. So we are doing this podcast at a very beautiful time because this is month of March. Next month onward, there is a new
हुँ, हुँ,
financial
हुँ।
year starting. Every brand, they plan everything. They will not plan marketing, but they should plan marketing and they should have a goal depending upon their revenue and the pace of marketing. If somebody wants to do an aggressive marketing, medium marketing, or a normal आज तक नहीं किया 25 सालों में पहली बार marketing, whatever it is, that, and depending upon their revenue, marketing budgets generally range between 2.5% to 25% of total revenue. So for example, I was talking to somebody, they're into e-scooter and their annual turnover is 1000 crore. So imagine a brand of 1000 crore. If I tell them 25% nikal do, it's too humongous. But imagine a brand who's just doing 20 lakhs. For them, I might tell them, bhai sahab, 20% nikalo. You understand? So depending upon your total revenue and the pace that you're looking at for marketing, you should be allocating your marketing budget, which ranges between die to 25. Number one. Number two, once you have allocated the budget in marketing budget, then comes the question कि अच्छा एक काम करिए, मैंने 1 करोड़ रुपया मार्केटिंग बजट निकाल दिया या 30 lakhs निकाल दिया या 50 lakhs निकाल
हुँ,
दिया.
हुँ।
हाउ शुड आई डिवाइड दिस मार्केटिंग बजट? है ना, बिकॉज पहले तो मार्केटिंग बजट कितना निकालो, देन द क्वेश्चन इज हाउ शुड आई डिवाइड मार्केटिंग बजट. सो देर इज अ रूल विच वी जनरली से, बट ऊपर नीचे होता है थोड़ा सा. थिंग्स विच हैव वर्कड फॉर यू लास्ट ईयर, लास्ट टू लास्ट ईयर, give 60 to 70% towards that. Don't take panga there. Allocate your marketing budget. So if performance marketing is working, influencer marketing is working, videos are working, print ad is working, radio campaign has worked for you, whatever event has worked for you, activations have worked for you, whatever has worked, 70% should go there. Mota mota. 60, 70, 65, 70. 20% should go to something which is working in the industry and is working for competitors. Okay, like acha, this is something, acha, we also tested it but nahi kiya zyada. Last 10% has always to be tried for disruptive things, absolute new
हुँ, हुँ,
experiments, thing that you have not done last year but it is happening, everybody is doing, happening in US, in Dubai. You got to know it's not in India, doesn't matter. One of the biggest secret of successful brands is Sometimes they disrupt the market because they experiment with something. So 70/20/10. This is how you should be allocating your marketing budget. And last, marketing budget must be done because generally with Indian business owners from last 15 years, I have seen what will happen. Somebody like me will come and will motivate them. Sir, marketing करिए. ऐसे कैसे? So they'll be like, okay, madam, करते हैं. So एक quarter वो लोग करेंगे and जुलाई में कुछ नहीं हुआ. No ROAS, no ROI, something. नहीं मैडम अभी नहीं होगा, पैसा खत्म हो गया, ये हो गया, and the marketing stops. One of the biggest thing in marketing is, hello, be consistent. Keep doing marketing. जब आपने वो लड़के को हायर किया था आपने एक फैक्ट्री में, उसने भी तो 2 महीना नहीं काम किया ना, आपने निकाला नहीं। आपकी मशीन भी 15 दिन रुकी थी, आपने फेंका नहीं। मार्केटिंग आप इतनी जल्दी जजमेंट क्यों लेते हो? बट इफ यू हैव एलोकेटेड अ मार्केटिंग बजट ना, यू विल नॉट स्टॉप मार्केटिंग बिकॉज़ यू हैव कमिटेड। अरे ये किटी का पैसा मार्केटिंग के नाम का है, कुछ भी करूँ मैं। सो दैट्स
Because yes,
आल्सो
because marketing is a very slow and a game of patience. It's very important because yes, Sadhana is right. A lot of brands they get impatient immediately. The moment yes, they start, they want results from day one. That
yeah.
doesn't happen. I mean, yes, if we run performance ads, yes, sales start coming from day one. That's true. But like when we talk about the whole kind of organic results and everything, you take approximately 2 3 years to become a little known brand. I mean,
Mhm.
people in we say that we can bring you in the consideration set, but
Yeah.
we can help the brand to make the first sale, right? But the real test of a brand is the second sale, which the consumer himself comes and buys. That's the true test of a brand, and for that the product has to be really good and entire marketing has to be really good. Only then the customer will come again. They have to, like marketing, we are just, let's imagine I'm showing an ad to a customer. Now the ad is brilliant, the performance marketing targeting everything is brilliant. That will help just the first
First sale.
purchase, the
Yeah.
first sale. But now the customer has used the product and he is not liked it, he will never come back. Now on a contrast situation, the consumer has loved the product, and the moment he opened the packaging, he loved it so much because he felt a connection with the
Mhm.
brand. Now the second time he will himself buy and he will tell 10 people also to buy. That is how brands are built, but that takes like 2 3 years. This is a slow process because people will buy, repeat buy, they will spread word of mouth. So this is how brands are built. And also, I would like to add to what Sadhana has said, that on a, like, she has given you a percentage kind of an idea, but I'll also give you one more idea, that a brand like a national brand kind of a brand would spend, let's say, 12 to 15 crores per annum. That's their budget. But if you are just an online brand, maybe 1 crore and per annum is also fine. So that also depends on your scale. If you are selling nationally, you're available in like all the states, major states of India, then
Mhm.
maybe you would like to do some IPL thing. Maybe you would like to hire a celebrity, because all
Actually,
those things
it can't
matter.
be
But yes,
answered, yeah,
yeah,
because वी स्पीक टू सो मेनी ब्रांड बोलते हैं 10 लाख रुपए महीने का बजट है एड का. सो 10 into 12 is 1 crore 20 lakhs
yeah,
gone. Then you need to have influencer, you need to have agency, you need to have SEO websites, a lot many things. To be honest, this is not a question that
yeah.
randomly can be answered,
Because
but
yeah, it
yeah,
depends
there
on
should
so
be.
many things. But yeah, just to give you an idea, that even 1 crore could be a big budget, and even
Correct.
12 crore could be small
A
budget
small
for a
budget.
national brand. But yeah, this is the
Mhm.
kind of
Correct.
ticket size that I've seen brands to go for.
Got it. Okay, so let's try to dig in about your agency a little bit. I think we had a good almost 1 hour discussion. Okay, let's try to
Absolutely.
understand what brand Brazuka and what are the services it offers. I think I have seen your link pens TVC. Okay, and
Yeah.
it was amazing.
Yeah.
So
Thank
let's start with the services. What kind of services it offers?
you. Okay, so um, I think before I start listing the service, 2 3 sentences as a context, because that is the kind of context we are talking from starting.
Hmm.
What is that we do and what do we do? So we help product owners become brand owners. Number one. How do we do that? By making their brand and their story and communication simple and effective. Okay. And in the process, what all we do, everything which is needed, the story starts from branding. So understanding the story, the narrative, your strategy, um, then bringing all that to life in terms of naming, logo, packaging, website, photography, still photography, um, video photography, all these, because they talk about your brand, the kind of genre you want to be. And then comes advertising. After branding comes advertising. Advertising is into two ways: one is traditional advertising, the other is digital. So when we work with national brands go for both advertising. So we create a campaign, we crack a campaign, and that campaign is published in print, on outdoor hoardings, airport hoardings, radio anthem, radio scripts, radio jingles,
Hmm.
TV ads, and then digital comes, which is your social media pages, your social media ads, your SEO,
Hmm.
everything. I mean, the idea is making, helping them so that they can sell more and they can grow more. So, but how are we different? I think that is a one question that I want people to know. How Brand Bazooka is different from a performance company, because performance agency also helps them grow more, sell more. We also help them grow more and sell more. How are we different? We are different in two ways. One, we approach the result वही है, but we approach the achievement of that goal holistically. It's just not that put your credit card, start performance marketing, get sales, because that will work for sure. That is how Google and Meta will earn. So open the tap, you will start leads. But in the long run, as you said, in the long run, if a brand parallelly starts brand building exercises as well, so after 12 months, imagine two brands, brand A, brand B. Brand A is doing performance marketing plus brand building exercise. And this is brand B, only performance marketing. This guy is very happy, day one se. Because he's only spending money on performance and giving to the agency performance wali. This guy is crying.
Hmm.
अरे परफॉर्मेंस एजेंसी में भी पैसा जाता है, परफॉर्मेंस में भी जा रहा है, अभी एक ब्रांडिंग एजेंसी को भी पैसा जाता है. After 12 months, whatever the cost that you are paying right now to acquire a customer, after 12 months that cost is going to increase for sure. For sure, it's not possible that it is going to come low. But that point of time, to acquire 100 customers, if this guy has to spend 1,000 bucks, this guy will also spend 1,000 bucks, will acquire 100 only, but because he has been doing brand building, 400 more or 200 more customers will automatically buy. So 1,000 divided by 100 here, but here 1,000 divided by 1,200. That's your cost of acquisition or cost of advertising, cost of management comes down. Yeah. So how are we different from these folks and agencies? Is we holistically help brands to understand this. This could be an email campaign. This could be a newsletter. Nurturing the relationship. So sometimes clients want us to help them with just nice content, and they will publish those contents in form of email to their database. That's okay, do it, no problem. Yeah, na? It's about nurturing.
Hmm.
So all that, yeah. So branding is all what we spoke, and then advertising. Bigger national brands, Brand Bazooka works. Mitsubishi, JBL, Sansui, Link Pens, lot of brands that we have done. So they all go for holistic advertising. Lot of big new brands, they only go for digital, which is social media, SEO, performance marketing, website building, all that.
Yeah, yeah, and also, one thing, like a lot of what happens if you go to a performance marketing agency, he will talk
Hmm.
only good things about only performance marketing. He will
Yeah,
not tell you that SEO is also good. You are
yeah,
supposed to do SEO because he
Yeah.
is not selling that service. Now if you go to a social media agency, he'll only talk about social media.
yeah,
So the main biggest advantage of working with an agency like us is that we actually truly tell you that if you have this much budget, you should actually first invest this much into this much into this,
yeah,
because we have no benefit of spending. We don't
Just
give
one.
unbiased opinion.
Yeah.
We give unbiased opinion.
Yeah.
So that is one
Yeah.
important
And I
thing.
think one service that we very recent, not very recently, it has been a few years now. We after COVID, especially, we saw a lot of new
Hmm.
business owners coming in the economy and messing up with the strategy part because they would just not know. They will just go buy website bana do, Instagram bana do, ad chalu kar do. And after 8 months, 7 months, if the 20 lakhs ka shampoo ka inventory is stuck, it is stuck by. It's not moving. Even though influencers are taking money, coming, doing all those actions, वो sale नहीं हो रहा है because everything was out of the place. So we also do lot of newcomers, newbies. They start relationship with Brand Bazooka with strategy sessions only. That okay, let's just come and do the strategy sessions with you. And then after that, we give them a roadmap कि यहाँ से कलकत्ता जाना है, दिल्ली से कलकत्ता जाना है. सो आप प्लेन से भी जा सकते हैं, ट्रेन से भी जा सकते हैं और रोड से भी जा सकते हैं एंड शिप से भी जा सकते हैं. शिप है नहीं दिल्ली में. चलिए
Mhm.
यही 3 है हाँ. So you choose what is the kind of time you have, what is the kind of money you have and what is the kind of effort you want to put in. बट ये मैंने जितना आसान बोल दिया ना, यही स्ट्रैटेजी होता है. उसके बाद वो डिसाइड करते हैं मेरे जेब में कितना पैसा है. मैं फ्रीलांसर रखूं, मैं खुद करूं, मैं किसी एजेंसी से कराऊं, एक्स से कराऊं, बी से कराऊं. बट एटलीस्ट दे नो दैट द रोड मैप इज राइट. नो बडी विल आस्क देम टू कम बैक आफ्टर 12 months. ओ गॉड यू हैव बीन रनिंग ऑन अ रॉन्ग ट्रैक बिकॉज दैट्स नॉट राइट. वो बहुत बुरा होता है.
Because
दैट्स
one thing
पेनफुल.
that we do in strategy is sometimes, let's say you are doing certain things, it's not always that we change that thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes we say yes, you are doing the right thing, but that gives you that kind of confidence that
Confidence.
you are running faster on that track, because earlier you were confused whether I'm doing the right thing or wrong thing. So
Yeah.
sometimes it's when the strategist come on board, when he said that yes,
Hmm.
this is the right thing, because why we are able to say that is because we have seen so many brands grow, and we have built so many brands, and we have studied a lot of international brands, and so based on that information we say that okay, this is the right strategy for
Yeah.
you. And if you sometimes brands are already doing that, but once we say
A
that this is the right
validation.
strategy,
Yeah.
then they are like more confident and they are able to put all their resources on that strategy. That is also a part of strategy.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's it. यही करते हैं और इससे ज़्यादा कुछ काम नहीं करते साहब. खाली रहते हैं पूरा टाइम हम लोग.
चलिए आप लोगों से बात करके आई गॉट लॉट ऑफ लेसन्स टुडे. मेरा तो नोटबुक ऑलमोस्ट भर चुका है. बट वेयर कैन पीपल फाइंड यू? आप लोगों का वेबसाइट का लिंक मैं डिस्क्रिप्शन में दे दूंगा. इसके
And
अलावा इज देयर
Instagram.
एनीथिंग दैट यू वांट टू?
Instagram.
ओके,
Yeah.
Our
इंस्टाग्राम.
Instagram. Yeah,
गॉट
yeah,
इट.
yeah. Our Instagram is
ओके.
very buzzing.
More up to date, I would say, and
So a lot of
latest things
yeah, a lot
we
of
would
people
say
who
there.
love us like to stay in touch. They kind of follow that. So yes, they can do that.
Got it, definitely. Thank you guys for joining today. And
Thank
I think we are going to get a lot of comments, and I have to have you on another podcast as well.
you.
Sure,
नहीं,
sure.
नहीं,
Anytime,
thank you.
anytime.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you so
you.
much, guys. Thank you so much. Bye. Take
Bye
care.
bye.